Hey, so I don't know if any of you guys remember me, but this is actually my YouTube channel. I just don't really post on it. I've been wanting to get back on YouTube a little bit. I hate when people say that and then they post one video and they don't come back for 3 months. That, in all honesty, will probably be me. Until then, though, I'm letting myself have a little fun, make a little content. All that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about 2023 because I have almost posted no videos, so that will not be on my list. On this list, though, I do have various things. Who cares? I don't need to summarize. It's not that long. I'll start with mental health, particularly medication. I thought I was doing well, and I tried to taper my Prozac dosage. I'm on like the highest dose that they'll give you. And I said I'm doing pretty well at this time. This was like mid-year, and I did do some videos on this. Yeah, that did not work, and that did not go over well, and so I'm back on the normal amount of Prozac, so that's that. Also, first of all, proud of myself for doing that and trying that, and then ultimately coming to the conclusion that it's better for me to remain on that medication. But second, I got a new prescription, and it's not necessarily for mental illness, but it is for a side effect of of a symptom you might experience if you have mental illness or if you take medications like Prozac, for example. So I don't know about you guys, but my sweating absolutely out of control, and it not all over my body, just underarm sweating. I mean, I would come home at lunch and I'd have to change my shirt in the middle of the day. Like I couldn't go back to work with what was happening there. Smell wise, I guess, but more like the appearance, like it was just so wet and the circles were so big. I'll see if I can find a picture that does it justice. So when I saw my primary care provider, I said, bro, how hard is it to go to get a referral, basically to get Botox in my armpits because they're so sweaty, and it's tied to Prozac, I think. And he's like, it's really hard to get that, but I could try to prescribe you this drug called Drysol, and it's just like a topical. You just put it on at night, and I'm telling you, first of all, it does itch a little bit if you put it on, in my opinion, too often, but put it on every other day or a couple times a week, and you don't sweat in your underarms. Like I can wear all of my clothes without having to wear, like I don't have to wear sweaters over other long sleeve shirts, for example, because I need to hide that because I know there'll be stains. I can take off blazers in the middle of the day and not have a problem. So if that's something you struggle with, ask your physician if maybe you could try Drysol and say, and also, so how I got that prescription is like, I said, bro, I've tried everything. I've tried Lumi. I've tried men's deodorant. I've tried prescription strength, advanced, at all the kinds at Walgreens. I've tried all the stuff. Anyway, that's your friend. I am aware that the main ingredient is aluminum, and that's not good for you. And so the second thing I'll get into is that I created a creative manifesto, and my partner doesn't really like when I call it that because he sees it as like something a killer sends out before doing killing things, but that's not really how I look at it. I'm looking at it as like, these are my like principles that I use and review before creating, and they're things like the algorithm, like I don't create to make money, like I have a job that makes me money so I can support my art. I'm not asking my art to support me, like all kinds of stuff on there that are tailored to me, and then I read before I do creative things, like work on my UC Normal book, which you might be curious about, and I don't really think I'll be addressing it in this video. I worked on it. I worked on it all year. Let's talk about alcohol. So I've done this before where I've taken a break from alcohol, and so I did that, and then I went back to drinking alcohol, And then, you know, I just find myself like, this could be, I guess this could be his own video, but I read this book, Quit Like a Woman, and by Holly Whitaker, and it got me really interested even more. This was the beginning of this year, in doing something like this. And I was finding that I was craving alcohol, right? So I was craving it. I would get home from work and I'd be like, you know what? Like, let's do a happy hour. Let's go get some drinks. Let's drink at home. Let's drink alone. Yeah, so I just became craving. I didn't want to be someone, I didn't want to have myself be like craving alcohol. It's literal like poison. And so to crave it wasn't driving with me. So I stopped, and I had a very long period of not drinking anything. And since then I have had a couple, incident and problem with doing that. It was a big problem, and I happened to be drinking that night. And since then I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I don't want anyone to see me like that again. I wasn't drinking too much, but I was not in the right like headspace to be able to deal with some problems that were coming up. So it was really not a good situation. And since then, I think I've drank one time in November, and it's now mid-December. So, I mean, it doesn't appeal to me. It really doesn't. And I feel like I need to do the same thing with sugar. Okay, so that's alcohol. Next, I've got a couple positive things. So one of my goals for 2023 was to really focus on relaxation. And I read 55 books, and I will tell you, I did not try to read 55 books. I was trying to read less. I consistently read about 50 books a year, and I've tracked them since 2020. I'm trying to read less just so that like I feel like I need to be able to retain them more. Didn't work out. I got through a lot. What I would like to do for next year's reading goal habits is to actually read some of the books on my TBR, and then also read the books I own so I can decide if I want to keep them or not. And then also get rid of books that are not meaningful to me. I am hanging on to books because I'm like, oh, but that's a popular book. Like people will be jealous that I had this book. It's popular. Like Taylor Jenkins. It's like, if it's not meaningful to you and you're not going to read it again, please just get rid of the book. So that's what I'm trying to do. I had some ups and some downs in the professional realm. I've been at my job for 1.5 years. I went hard. I've been going hard at it. I have been doing things that are above and beyond. I had 4 professional speaking engagements on behalf of my organization. It's not something that's in my job description. It's just people are interested in the expertise that I bring. And so those were highlights for me. I, especially 2 of them, they're at big conferences. And I felt really proud of those. However, that's kind of the positive seeming side, and these were big ups for me. But it's also been really just challenging throughout the year in a lot of different ways. I expressed challenges working with someone and navigating like basically personnel issues at this company, and it just not going well. And so that was a few months ago. And then even now, I don't think it is the right place for me, and I'm trying to do my best to get out right now. Whole nother video, right? Of how can you manage while you're trying to get out, or maybe you can't even try to get out at this point. You don't have enough capacity to be able to basically come home and try to actively seek like another job. I say it is a job trying to find a job. It just like, it keeps going. It's demanding. It requires a lot of you. So there are some things that I've been able to kind of figure out a little bit, I guess. Like, I'm trying to remind myself that the stakes here at the job I work at, so low, just so low. And I'd love to remind people above me at the company of that when they are completely bent out of shape about things. I mean, it's just, I could write. One thing that I will share is to make sure you're paying attention to the content that you're consuming around career if you're having a hard time with it. So for me, I wanted to like turn the volume down on career and just be like, I'm just gonna do that and whatever. Just do that when I'm at work, but otherwise, I'm not getting upset about things while I'm at home. I'm not checking things while I'm at home. I've never really done that. But it's like, just go on autopilot, go to work, come back. Like, just go on autopilot for now while you're kind of like surviving through it. But make sure that you're not putting on YouTube videos or podcasts that are like, level up your career. Make sure you're doing what you love. They're gonna stress you out a ton and make you very, very dissatisfied with where you are, and then feel guilty if you're not necessarily taking steps or not being successful in taking those steps to get out of it. Two other positive things: I got to go to 12 concerts this year, and I saw some of my favorite artists. I saw some of my best friend's favorite artists with my best friend. I saw my partner's favorite artist with my partner. I saw my favorite artist with my mom. I think I was in great company. I saw some of my favorite people get married this year, which makes my heart glow. Finally, I've been in the longest relationship of my life, romantically. So that happened. That was everything, at least everything that I wanted to share. I encourage you to do your own reflection. I think what I prioritized in my reflection was bulleting the goods and bulleting the bads, and I didn't even separate them. It's just all in a list because they were all there, and I recognize all of it. I do hope to be back on YouTube soon. As always, I can't promise that because I don't know what's happening up here. I'm gonna go. I hope you have a great next hour.